We're back on the Sports Zone. I am Mike Aglialoro. Once again, thanks to everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel, Mike Ags121. If you haven't done so, please do so right under the video. Like the video, and for more, check out thisissportszone.com. So we did start them up already for week 2. Now we're back with sit them down for week 2. Didn't have the greatest start to the season in the sit them down portion as we went 3-6 last week. Probably aimed a little bit too high. Put Megatron and Adrian Peterson on the list, so we're going to try to do a little better this time. Now, before I start, I want to point out that I put out this article about 11, 12 o'clock on Thursday morning, and I do want to go on record as saying Brad Evans basically copied the majority of my picks on the sit 'em down. So when you're reading this, if you go to Yahoo and you look at his lames column for this week, yes, he did copy me, folks. Yes, he did. So anyway, we'll start with the quarterbacks you want to avoid this week, and you want to avoid Phillip Rivers of the San Diego Chargers and Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers. When you're playing FanDuel.com, it's very important if you're going to go for a guy who's priced at over $8,100 or in Cam Newton's case over $8,600, it's important that you know that you're getting what you're paid for. It's important that you're getting the value there. And with Phillip Rivers and the Chargers going against the Seattle Seahawks, Cam Newton in his first game back off of a serious rib injury, playing his first game back against what looked like a dangerous Lions rush defense that gave Eli Manning a lot of problems this week. And given that you don't know what the mobility of Newton is going to be, you want to pass on both of them. Like we talked about in the Start 'em Up segment, Robert Griffin III, Jake Locker, both priced at $7,800 and $7,400 will give you a lot more bang for the buck and a lot more value than guys like Rivers and Newton, like I said, at over $8,100 and $8,600 respectively. You want to know you want to know that you're getting what you pay for there, and I don't believe you're going to get it with either Rivers or Cam Newton. So pass on both of them. At running back, and again, Brad Evans picked both these guys after I did. You want to pass on Zach Stacy for $7,700 and Reggie Bush for $7,800. Reggie Bush is in the timeshare with Jacquay Bell, and until further notice, it does look like Bell's going to be getting the bulk of the work. And again, like I said in the Start 'em Up, Bush has an injury tag on him this week, so you want to pass on him. Go with the cheaper of the two running backs. Go with Bell, who looks like the value play. Zach Stacy should be benched until further notice. He's facing Tampa Bay. They didn't look terrible in the run last week against the Panthers, but Stacy is also embroiled in the timeshare, and the offense as a whole does not look very promising. So you definitely don't want to play Stacy in yearly leagues until he gives you reason to, which is definitely not an easy thing, because if you're in one-year leagues, you probably spent a second-round draft pick on him. So that's unfortunate, but you can't trust him right now. Moving on to the wide receivers, two more guys Brad Evans took. Keenan Allen and Victor Cruz, who you want to avoid this week, and you also want to avoid Dez Bryant. Allen's priced at $7,200, Cruz is priced at $6,900. Dez Bryant priced at $8,200 is the big one to avoid. Like I said with the quarterbacks, if you're spending $8,200 on a guy, you want to know that you're getting a value play. And against the Titans, given the way Tony Romo and the Cowboys offense look, he's not someone you can really trust for $8,200 this week. Dez Bryant is still a top 5 wide receiver. I just really wonder if he's going to give you top 5 receiver stats this week. Victor Cruz, again, Giants offense looked terrible last week. This week they're playing an Arizona defense that definitely looks legit. Pass on him until he shows some signs of life. And like with Phillip Rivers, you don't want to start Keenan Allen, who had a bad week 1, and now is taking on the Seattle Seahawks and Richard Sherman. So you pass on him. At tight end, you pass on Eric Ebron. Not exactly priced very highly on FanDuel.com, but this is a guy who was hyped up in the offseason as being a guy who could approach borderline tight end 1 fantasy numbers, and definitely did not show that last week. Didn't catch 1 pass, was only targeted 2 times, and is now taking on Carolina's offense. It looks as if Ebron is going to be involved in this offense at any point this season, it's not going to happen until the second half. And as such, you don't play him at all until he gives you reason to. So pass on him. So once again, looking back, the quarterbacks to sit down this week are Phillip Rivers of the San Diego Chargers and Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers. The running backs to pass on this week, Zach Stacy of the St. Louis Rams and Reggie Bush of the Detroit Lions. At wide receiver, you don't want to start Dez Bryant of the Dallas Cowboys, Keenan Allen of the Chargers, and Victor Cruz of the New York Giants. And at tight end, avoid Eric Ebron of the Lions at all costs this week. Once again, thanks to everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel Mike Ags 121. Don't forget to like SportsZone on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at WeAreSportsZone. Send us any questions and comments you may have. Thanks everyone for watching. For this is SportsZone, I am Mike Aglialoro, and we will see you next time, folks.